Hello.
Thank you for giving the permission, but I'd still ask you, would you like to take a couple of seconds to sip some water? You were feeling very emotional. Would you like to take a breath?
Yes, thank you. Just a moment.
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. So as I gently bring you back into this classroom, uh, thank you for presenting yourself with the vulnerability and the authenticity. That's a really big thing when there are so many pairs of eyes watching, and yet you talk about something that's personal to you. So that's wonderful. Thank you very much. When a good client brings a good case, all of us learn, not just one or two people who are in the conversation. So thanks for that. Well, uh, that was a conversation which was a little different in flavor, in sound, in sight, in every way. So, Alexandra, what stood out for you in these last 25 minutes?
Um, some of maybe one or two of the questions, and also I mentioned the pain and the tooth really made me feel uncomfortable. And usually it's not easy for me to feel uncomfortable with someone. Not in a bad way. Something great came out of it, but I really was uncomfortable and
Mm.
so uncomfortable that, to be honest, I maybe if there weren't 100 eyes watching, maybe I would have stopped for a couple of minutes, but I'm glad I didn't. But it was an overwhelming feeling, psychologically, physiologically, emotionally. I don't know what happened, and I froze. But I'm very glad that Ben insisted and for me to take it in a different way and actually try to understand why am I feeling this way. It's not because Ben asked me that question.
Mhm.
I've been asked that question. I ask myself this question, but I always avoid answering. So I'm very sincerely I'm still in my thoughts. I'm still my definitely my mind was expanded and yeah, it was a great conversation.
Mhm.
And it also made me realize that I do talk a lot. I need to talk less and do more. If that makes sense, to be very honest. I need to work on that.
So what I
So
hear is that there was this period of time where you were being pushed and you saw yourself being pushed and you had this thought of, should I go in or should I stop? And you let yourself go there. You put yourself there and you realize at the end of it, there were so many beautiful new realizations and penny dropping moments for you. That's what I hear you say.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, when a student coach is also a client, sometimes they are, or while they are being the client, their coach also kind of is present there, watching another coach in action. Would I be right in saying that?
Yes, 100%.
Sometimes there's a little track of the student coach watching another coach, and then of
Yeah.
course the client. So when you look at that, your coach really held on in challenging you, kind of pushing you to think more. Yeah, despite the fact that you were showing that you were uncomfortable, it benefited the client. So would you
Yes.
like to share as a student, what are you learning about this period of being pushed and challenged and then coming out?
Well, I learned that if done correctly,
Mm,
um, because it's very easy to be a bit to step on someone's boundary. Yeah, there's a fine line between pushing and maybe pushing too hard. I don't know if my words are coming out right, but I guess what I learned is that sometimes it's okay to put someone in an uncomfortable place in order to get out of your uncomfortable place, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So maybe I was uncomfortable for 5 minutes, but I'm definitely more comfortable now, and I have like a weight off my shoulder.
Yeah.
So
What I hear is you're telling your coach friends here that uh, you can see your client may be feeling a little uncomfortable, but trust the process, trust what you're doing. Uh, Keep your intentional, empathetic self there, and slowly and gently take your client towards where they want to go. Is that what I hear you say?
yes.
Ah, wonderful. Wonderful. That's really good. Um, as I hear this conversation, as I was hearing this, and so were all my friends here, this was truly thought provoking. Would you agree?
Oh yes. Oh yes, I was definitely triggered.
Yeah.
I froze. I never freeze. I always have something to say. I'm telling you, I talk a lot, but I froze. I thought I was very quiet as a client because I was really he was pushing me. Uh, I was this close to either breaking down or saying I don't want to answer, but I didn't.
Thank
I didn't.
you first for hanging in there. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
of
you
course.
for trusting
I
the
mean,
coach.
I'm the one who gained something. I mean, all of us, but I gained something out of it. So I'm glad I powered through.
Great, great. I'd like to go to the first part, which was a check-in that he did with you, where he said, when you are reflective, what do you notice? What are your what are your thoughts now that you're thinking about that question?
I misunderstood the question at first. Uh,
Yeah.
and I didn't even understand why he was asking me that question. Now I know why.
Okay.
He
Now you
was,
know why. Why? And
oh
why do
yeah,
you
yeah. I was too much and in my thoughts and I guess he could see the tourbillon, how do you say it? The tornado that was happening inside of me. So he had to ask it once and twice, and then I was able to get into a more relaxed state, basically, in order to have a fruitful conversation,
So
a
you
deep one, not
quietened,
just
yeah.
sorry.
You quietened down internally, and that really helped you to bring yourself to the coaching.
Yes.
Ah, so it
Mhm.
helped.
Oh
It,
yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So at the moment now, after the coaching conversation, this is my last question to you. Are you like what, relieved? Are you relaxed? Are you in a state of penny dropping for you? What's the state of mind now?
Um, I actually have a lot of adrenaline. I don't know how to explain in a good way. So I
Enjoy.
want to take action. I'm already thinking, I mean, tomorrow's the end of the month, right?
Mhm.
I'm always waiting for the beginning of the month to do something about what I want to do. I'm already thinking about that.
Good.
So it's good.
So you're brimming with energy. Wonderful. And the
Yes, I
timing
am.
is just right for you to get into action with some new things to do and new ways to turn up. That's wonderful. Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Using this opportunity where Alexandra is in such a talkative mode, inviting my other fellow faculty members, if there's a question that you'd like to ask, which will help us, or maybe I hand over back to Ben.
Thank you, Alina. Should we all come back on camera? And oh, people, yes, let's just give Alexandra a round of applause for a wonderful learning session. Right? It's not easy. It's not easy. And I think this is what I'm appreciating about coaching is that change is never painless. Okay. But yet, life without pain rob us of the joy of what change is offering to us. Not that we are sadists that we need to subject ourselves to pain. Okay. But the beauty is that, pain births new life for us. And part of the work that we do as coaches is not just to have a conversation. We have a conversation with an intent to give birth to new change. Okay. And it requires a lot of muscles. Okay. Well, because after all, I know giving birth is not that easy. Good, great. So let's once again, thank you for such a wonderful learning session. And the show has just only started. Okay. We're going to bring it to the breakout rooms, and our faculty members will be there to guide you through, not say to guide you, but we're going to have a discussion around today's case study in a more structured manner. So in the chat box, I have I've uploaded the guided questions, So while it is not meant for you to kind of like, oh, answer first question, second question, or third questions, right? So okay, it's kind of like, it's like you look at the question first and see which one really caught your attention and say, oh, I think this question is very interesting for me because I saw something here in the conversation, and then you can use that and talk around it. Good. So it's not meant to be sequential that you need to go through all the questions. It's more like whichever questions is relevant and meaningful, use that as a way to facilitate the discussions. Got it? So we're going to spend about, let's say, 15 minutes in that room. And then after that, we're going to come back to the main room. That's where you get to interview the coach to get a sense of what is happening at the back of the mind or anything that is interesting and you will love to get an insight. So we're going to do that in the main room. So while you are in the breakout room, try to keep the discussion to a learning discussion rather than asking questions and get clarity on the questions. Is that clear for everybody? Good, great. So now I'm going to open the room and enjoy the discussions with your fellow coursemate or to our coaching community. Thank you.